What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Working on the old F7 today. If you haven't seen the last video, check it out. Just put it out recently. Long story short, picked up this 2004 Firecat F7 Night Fire Edition. Been looking for this one for a long time. Happy to get it, but as with anything that I buy, got to tear it down. So in this video, we're going to be taking the skid out, seeing what it needs. I'm going to re-powder coat a bunch of stuff here because I want this thing to look good. Probably get those rear shocks rebuilt. But yeah, for now, let's get this sled jacked up, get the back hanging high in the air, and let's get this suspension out. And then we'll see where else we get in this video. I'm not really sure how far I'm going here. I do have this Bikeman Y pipe I want to put on. I do also want to change this track. This is a bit of a bummer that I didn't notice when I bought this sled and didn't notice it in the last video. A nice section of ripped off lugs here. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think there's 5 or 6 ripped off lugs there. You can see that, eh? So that kind of sucks. So I don't think I'm going to be running this track. I want 1 1/4 inch anyway. I want to go a little smaller because I do want the top end out of this thing. I could go a 1-inch track, which the standard Firecats came with, but don't really want a 1-inch. They kind of suck everywhere else, but I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, let's get this thing jacked up in the air and let's start pulling some parts. Okay, skid's out. That's all I got time for today, but next scene, or next part of this video, you'll see me ripping this all apart. Yeah, just looking real closely at it. It's actually not in bad shape. Like, it's pretty clean. I think I'm going to re-powder coat it still, though. See, little stuff like this bothers me. This is being crazy picky, but I want this thing really nice. And the rails, I didn't notice it when I bought it, but I guess you can't tell over video. It's all touched up with spray paint. Someone spray painted all this. You can even see on this bracket here. Look at this. This is a zinc plated bracket, but it's got black overspray on part of it because someone touched the rail up here. But anyways, we're going to split this whole thing apart. I got new sliders for this. Most of the idler wheels feel good, actually. But I got new bearings hanging around here, so I'll change most of the bearings. If they feel suspect, I'll change them. You know what? I'll probably just change them all. The back two, they even feel good, but I should definitely probably change those. These I might leave alone because these are a real pain to do, and they feel fine, so I think I might leave those. But anyways, yeah, let's start taking this thing apart, see what we got to get sent out for powder coat. My oven, which is right here, isn't big enough for the rails, so I'll have to get a local guy here to do those rails. But the rest of the brackets and stuff, and all these little crossbars, I'll do those myself. And we'll send those shocks out to get rebuilt. I don't think they even need to be rebuilt, but I probably should do it. I don't know. We'll see. I got to think about how much money I feel like spending on stuff that probably doesn't need to be redone. But at the same time, it's 20 years old. It's probably never been rebuilt. And even though it's not blown, you know, it's still 20 years old, right? So anyways, get this thrown in the truck and we'll start splitting this whole damn thing apart. Okay, I got the rear skid all apart. My GoPro died, so I don't have footage of me taking it apart, but I'll get some footage of me reassembling it. But rails are off. I'm going to go drop these off to get powder coated. Shocks are out. Going to get these rebuilt. They actually feel totally fine. I'll leave it up to the shock rebuilder guy what he thinks, but they feel great actually. So anyways, skid split. Yeah. Go drop this stuff off, and gotta start doing some idler wheel bearings. They all actually seem good too, but might as well change them while they're out. All right, so big update. Got the shocks back from being rebuilt. Those are all good to go. I redid all the idler wheel bearings except the rear wheels. And check this out. Classic Royal Distributing. Bought some NTN bearings, made sure to buy the good ones, Blue Seal Formula ones. Same part number here. 1560R, 1560R, except someone played the old whoops switcheroo on me there. I was wondering why this box had like tape on it and stuff. So I'm going to tape this up. And that's because someone did the old switcheroo and threw the bing bong bearing in there. So guess I'll change the one for now. and I'll go back to Royal next week, pick up another one of those. I don't really want to run this. I'll keep it on the shelf as a spare, but big news, check this out. I found a track, 1.25" ripsaw, the exact track I wanted. I didn't want a 1-inch factory track because it kind of suck in the snow, and I didn't really want the 1375. I was okay with it, but if I had the choice, I prefer the 1.25" because we'll probably pick up a few mile an hour up top just from swapping from that to that. And I also got another drive shaft here with 10-tooth drivers on it, the sneaky 2003 Firecat kind of a deal. So 03 F7s, well, Firecats in general had 10-tooth drivers. They swapped to 9 in 04, but the 10-tooth is definitely the way to go. Less rolling resistance, all kinds of stuff. I'll just have to re-gear. The bearing on it feels good. Haven't fully decided whether I'm gonna run that or not. Maybe, it feels fun. So yeah, today I'm gonna have to yank this track out of here, pull the drive shaft out, put the new drive shaft with the 10-tooths in, put this track in, and I think that's probably all we'll get for today because I don't have any studs. I don't know if you guys checked on the price of studs lately. It's crazy, man. Like the cheapest studs you can buy, which I don't remember the brand, I think it's ATS. That's what I used to buy from Royal. They're like $4 a stud without a backer. And when you got to put, 130, 40, 50 studs in a track, you're getting up there. It's $500 of studs basically. And that's without the backers. And the double backers, I think, are like $2 a piece or something. I need 50 of them. So it's just crazy. It's like, $600, $700 a stud of track. Like it's nuts. So I bought used studs off a guy, but they look fine, honestly. So, waiting for those to come in. So won't be doing that today, but I would like to get this track in, at least get this one out and see if that drive shaft's going to work. I have a sneaking suspicion, just because I know how my luck is in life, that drive shaft isn't going to work. But we'll pull the other one out and we'll put them beside each other and make sure everything's lining up how it should. Cogs are in the right place. Drive shaft length is correct. And we'll tracks out, drive shafts out. I've been looking at them, measuring and comparing stuff. They look good. The only difference I found between the two drive shafts, so this is the one that came out of the sled, this is the one I bought. The shank for where your bearing goes on bottoms out on the factory drive shaft on here, and this one's a longer shake, but the overall measurement's the same. I measured from here to the end of the threads. I've measured the splines where your gear goes on, and they're basically identical from shaft to shaft. So the gearing that's in the sled actually, with the 9-tooths, must be because it's the Snow Pro with the larger track, is actually the gearing everyone switches to on the 03 Firecats that come with the 10-tooth. It's 2340. That's what everyone puts in a stock Firecat because you get a little more top end out of it. You lose a little on the bottom, but people say it's actually better because you get better traction because of that loss on the bottom. But better top end, so we literally have the right gearing anyways because we got a Snow Pro with a 9-tooth. So our gearing is actually good, which is crazy. All right, it's been about a week since that last clip. Ran into a bit of a jam. I messed up the chain case side bearing. I had to punch it to get it out of the chain case, and I was trying to be nice, and I hit the seal, and I also wrecked this internal O-ring, so I had to get a new bearing. Tried to get an NTN, didn't match. Tried to get one from Articat, didn't have it in stock, and I wanted to get this thing together this weekend. So unfortunately I have to use, so I'm actually like mega bothered by using a really cheap bearing on the chain case, but I'm kind of screwed here, and I wanted to get it done this weekend, so we're gonna run it. We're gonna see what happens. I also snapped one of these studs on this plate when I reinstalled the drive shaft. I noticed that the threads were screwed up on it when I bought it, but I didn't think it would cause anything. But yeah, they must have been stretched, so they snapped. So I had to pull this bearing off the 8-tooth drive shaft, or the 9-tooth that came out of the sled. Pull the bearing, pull this bearing, and use this plate from the other drive shaft. But should be good now. We're going to slam all this in, slam this new bearing in the chain case, get all that together. And then after that, we got some suspension stuff. So got all the parts here. Everything's ready to go. The rails are in my house, but those are powder coated. These got powder coated little crossers, so we'll do that in a minute. For now, let me slam this drive shaft in. Not much to film really, but I'll slam this drive shaft in, and then we're gonna assemble the whole skid from nothing, and you get to watch me struggle to remember where everything goes. So yeah, we'll do that in a minute. Track is in, drive shaft is in, chain case is all buttoned up. Didn't put oil in it yet, but do that tomorrow. now I'm working on the rear skid here. So got all the rails lined up, the little crossers lined up. This is going to be a puzzle, so I don't remember where everything bolts up. There's a million thousand little bolts and pieces and mounting holes and locations. So I'm going to time lapse this on the GoPro, but don't mind me. I'm going to be checking my phone a lot because I took a bunch of pictures to see where everything goes. So bear with me, but we'll get this all together. And yeah, I'm excited to see how it turns out. The new rails look, well, sorry, the new powder coated rails look awesome. I think that makes the biggest difference. When you walked up to the sled before, you look closely and it's chipping off everywhere, especially all down like where your slider meets the rail. It was all chipped and bubbling. So this is awesome. So let's get this skid together. Check that out. Skid all done and it looks sick. Looks really good. Love how the rails turned out. Looks almost like a brand new skid. Well, not brand new, but looks pretty damn good. So I didn't put the springs on yet, which I have over here, because it's easier to install the skid back into the tunnel when the springs aren't on. So I normally let them hang, and I put the spring blocks on at the very end. There's a couple bolts in the rail. I remember when I took it all apart, I literally did nothing. There was just bolts in holes. Somewhere back here, I think it was right, it was either here or here. No, it was here. Bolt here did nothing. So I'm probably gonna leave those out. These are for the blocks, but the blocks I'm gonna leave out. That rear scissor arm will bottom out on these blocks, but I'm gonna leave those out because the sled weight transfers a lot better without them. But yeah, skid's good to go. Kind of ran out of time today, so that's it for today. I did want to get it back in the sled, but that's fine. So tomorrow, skid back in the sled, and then we get to do studs. I hate studding tracks. Like, probably one of my least favorite things ever. Studding tracks. I don't know why, and I always got to do it. But yeah, so that's it for today. See you in a minute, which will be tomorrow for you guys, and we'll get that skid in and we'll get some studs in this.
24 hours later.
All right, it's the next day, and as you can tell, the skid is in. Everything turned out pretty awesome. Everything's looking good. The only thing I'm missing is I don't have rivets long enough to rivet these little rubber bumpers back on. All my rivets are too short, so I'll have to get some rivets for those. Other than that, everything's in. Looks awesome. Everything fit good. Now I'm just trying to figure out a stud pattern. So this is what I think I'm going to go with. I think I'm going to go 422, 422, or vice versa, 224 all the way up. I was going to do 32, 32, 32, but it kind of seems like a little goofy, the pattern. I don't like the way it looks. I wanted to do 32 because then I could use double backers on every single one, and I don't like running singles because they're more prone to pulling out. But I like the way this pattern looks, so we're going to go 224, 224. I don't have enough single backers here, so I'll have to pick some more up. I do have enough double backers, so we'll get most of the track done today, but I won't be able to get it all done until I pick some more backing plates off. Yeah, so I'm going to start on that. The rusty ones worry me. I'm a weirdo like that. I look at that and I go, ooh, gross. So we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to use them yet, but I'll let you know. Anyways, wish me luck, because this is going to take a long time. help if you put the clutch back on, eh? Give me a minute. I think that's going to be it for this video. The speedometer is not working. Seems to be a common thing with me. Speedometer never works on anything. I noticed when I pulled it apart this time, the speedo housing, which is also the voltage regulator, looked like it got hit by the drive shaft. There's like a groove in it, but it doesn't make sense because the magnet, there's a little magnet on the end of your drive shaft. That's what spins around that housing. That's your little pickup. The magnet is what sticks out farther than anything. It's the farthest point in that setup, right? So if anything's going to hit the housing, it's going to be the magnet, and the magnet's not damaged. So I don't know. So speedo doesn't work. I think I need a new voltage regulator speedo assembly. Yeah, anyways, that's it for this video. There'll be more in the next one. We're gonna start doing some clutching and stuff on the next one. So subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you think, and see you later. All right, update. I pulled the magnet off the end of that drive shaft and flipped it 180. Player desensitive, I guess. I wouldn't even have thought of that. I read that online, and the speedo is working now. Check this out. I guess I could have left it running, eh? Mint. Okay, anyway, see you later. Hey! Subscribe to the channel.